What is up, my fellow household appliances? It's your boy L.Dre back with another video. I've been getting so many questions of so many requests for me to do a video, an updated video on how to mix and master lo-fi beats. Now, I've done a video on this in the past. It might be a little outdated. I've leveled up a bit, I guess, but for the most part, you know, I don't know why people ask me for mixing advice. Maybe they think my mixes are good, but for the most part, lo-fi is a very chill genre when it comes to mixing. You don't really have to follow too many rules. For me, I just do what sounds good. So there are a few tricks, there are a few key, tips and tricks that could help you and make your stuff sound more lo-fi, I guess. But for the most part, this is just how to mix beats. It's not really that different, but I'll just show you what I do because people seem to like how I mix. Let's get into it. All right, so in order to do this is a beat that I need to finish because I'm working on a little album. This beat is gonna be on it. You've heard it before because I made this on a YouTube video, so it's not a big surprise. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this beat right now and just show you how I would mix it. First things first, when I'm mixing beats, I mix as I go. So as you can see, it's really, for me, it's all about leveling and sound selection. I can't just sit here and tell you what a bad sound is. You need to train your ear to know what sounds sound cheap and what sounds good. Like this snare right here, very nice. And then you layer it, very nice together. You don't need to put any effects on any of those and it's gonna sound good regardless. That's what I mean by sound selection. This is a little percussion noise. It's turned down. What is this? Another percussion. This is some glass noises. It's turned down. That's really all there is. More drums, turned down. Drums, pan to the right. As you can see, it's all levels, 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 levels. So make sure you're turning things down, turning things up. For instance, one thing I hate is when people's hi-hats and their snares are just loud as hell for no reason. Make sure your snares and your hi-hats and all that high-end sounding stuff is not too loud. I don't want to get my ear stabbed, especially if you're doing lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? Like, soften up that snare. So one trick I have for softening up the snare, you could turn any snare into a lo-fi snare. I mean, this snare is already solid, but let's say it was a little harsh. Let's turn it up. All you would have to do to turn any snare into a lo-fi snare is open up your EQ and just boom, dump that high end out. Now that's a lo-fi snare. Go on Spotify right now, go to any lo-fi playlist. You're gonna find a bunch of snares that sound just like this. It serves its purpose, which is to just soften the harsh sounds so it's not just like ow. So you're not sleeping to a beat and you're just ow, your ears are in pain from this loud ass snare. Sound selection, levels, and that little trick, those are the top three things that you need to know right away, straight out of the gate. That's already, if you weren't doing stuff like that before, then once you do that, your beats are going to level up. The mixes are already going to be much, much better. So the next important thing I would say is bass. To me, bass is very important when you're mixing any kind of beat, but we're talking about lo-fi. So the bass is kind of different with lo-fi. Some people don't even use bass. Some people use a really soft sub, but you always just want to make sure whatever bass you're using sounds good with the kick and also the instruments. That's when you can start to EQ stuff. So I know Rhodes, not this Rhodes, but most Rhodes, you're gonna want to EQ out some of the low end. Like Rhodes plugins like Lounge Lizard, they usually have a lot of low end, and I often find that that kind of stuff clashes a lot. So when you have Rhodes and you have a thick bass, you got a thick booty bass coming in. This isn't thick. This is a very soft synthy bass, so it's not the best example. But yeah, if these Rhodes were like super thick, you just EQ. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, you need to take 50 hertz off the low end or something. I don't know. All I know is just, look, you just peel this thing to the right until it sounds good to you. Play it with the bass. So just for, just for funsies, let's play the bass together. If you wanted to make some more room for the low end of your bass and your kick, whatever your heavy instruments are, you're using Rhodes, any kind of synths that might have a lot of unnecessary low end, just get rid of it. Last mixing tip as part of the beat making process is layering your snares. I talk about this all the time, but this is my snares layered right now. You know, you got a regular snare like this, and just to give it more lo-fi swagger, you just add some kind of snare that has like some Foley to it. Put that together. And these Rhodes aren't giving me enough, so I'm gonna... Oh, okay, Sketch Cassette is really what's giving it its depth. So yeah, definitely utilize some plugins on your Rhodes. Honestly though, I think I'm just gonna switch that with RC20. You see, RC20, once you throw it on, it's already cutting a lot of the low end. So that's how you know, it's just facts. When it comes to the vinyl sounding effect, it loses low end. And that's just how it is when it comes to like certain things like Rhodes and stuff, or your melodies and all that. Another mixing tip that I'm actually going to do with this beat is find the most important sound to you, solo that, and then level everything around that. So for me, the most important is probably going to be the kick. So let's put this on a loop and let's just mix everything around this kick. So I'm actually going to turn it back up because I want it to be loud. So get the snare. That's solid. 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 Bass. Other synth. Cool. So now instead of turning that kick down, we just brought everything up so it could all sound on the same level as that kick, and that's just what you should do. So this is actually sounding solid. That's all of my tips. Besides, most of the time when it comes to the bass and the kick, I will sidechain the kick to the bass. If you don't know how to sidechain, you should already know, but really quickly in Ableton, I use a glue compressor, and whatever DAW you use, it might just be a regular compressor. You hit sidechain, you hit input, and then you hit kick, and then you turn the threshold down as much as you want. But this isn't necessary for this bass because this bass isn't conflicting with the kick at all, because it's not even, it's a weird bass melody basically. But that's what I would do, just so you know. But for the most part, that's it when it comes to mixing. So right now, so yeah, I just kind of arranged the beat and kind of finished it. So let's get on to mastering. So here's my master. Here's my new updated mastering chain. Let's see how it sounds already. And this is without it. Very subtle difference. Most difference is that it is louder. If I wanted to go louder, I just turn this threshold down on Ozone. So let's break it down a little bit and show you what it is. Boom. First up, we got Ozone 9. If you watched the last video, it's probably the same thing, except now when it's a bass heavy track, I mess with this character. So every now and then I'm changing this character up if it's bass heavy. Next up, we got Golfos. Golfos, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I got this solely because of Decap. Decap was going on and on and on about this plugin. So I got the trial, threw it on my master, and I mean, it just kind of brightens up your track, and it works. It works really well when you need things to be brighter. So I have it on my master. I change it from time to time, just by ear. I don't know what these things mean, but here's a little, let's get a little test. So yeah, clearly it's just kind of boosting the highs and Whatever its algorithm is up to, that's what it's up to. What's next on the master is just a glue compressor. That's it, friends. That's how I master my beats. I just put the glue compressor on and I soft clip it. That's my mastering chain. I'm sorry if you thought it was going to be something crazy or something, but this is it. Like, that's all I do. Nothing fancy. People say they like how my beats sound. That's great. So follow this, all right? But anyway, that's it. That's the video. Hope you learned something. If you're a professional and you think I'm an idiot, take one of these. Take one of these. I don't care. People keep asking me, so I'm going to give you guys what you want. Take what you can away from this video and go watch some more tutorials. Don't stop here. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more. We're trying to get more consistent, so drop some comments of what you want to see next. Make sure you're following me on Twitch. I'm streaming on Twitch every single week, so make sure you're there at L.Dre TV. Stream my music, L.Dre on all streaming platforms. I'm a table, don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot be. Thanks for watching. L.Dre out.